Welcome to PCG Player Pro Tips, the show where we show you how to survive any number of paper computer game scenarios that you may find yourself in. Now I've been getting some comments, some things to cover, some scenarios to cover, and I appreciate that. I want you to keep them coming. I do read them, and I'm going to get to all of them, but today I want to address a very important object, a scenario that you might find yourself in a paper computer game: the paperclip. Now, there's an obvious use for a paperclip. Let's just get it out of the way. Picking a lock. All right, you can undo it like this, and in your paper computer game screen, something might be locked. You have a paper clip. You may be able to pick the lock. Obvious. Number one. Another one, really obvious. If there's a little reset switch on something, like sometimes clocks or like video game consoles, something like that has a little reset switch. You can only hit it with something small like this. And boop, hit a little button in there. Another obvious kind of use of a paperclip. Another thing, again, really obvious, very useful for a paperclip. It's metal, right? So magnets, other things like that, metal things, you may be able to stick it to the magnet and then, maybe link one magnet to another magnet. The possibilities are endless there. Again, this is just kind of obvious stuff, but something you might not be aware of with a paperclip is actually that it can clip paper together. And I don't know, this is actually kind of a weird life hack. It took me a while to figure this out, so don't be embarrassed if you didn't know this. But if you have like a bunch of paper, you can kind of take the paper clip and put it over there, and now you have a bunch of loose paper that's now together in one spot. And that's where you need to be careful. This is dangerous territory, because if you have a bunch of paper, as we've covered before, you have a bunch of paper in a paper computer game, it can get a little weird. Like, what's in that paper? It's paper in paper. And now there's a stack of it. But even more than that, if you have a stack of paper in a paper computer game, and the solution to that puzzle is to clip it together, chances are you're working for the company. You're making copies. That's not a scenario you want to be a part of. You got to get out of there, all right? You say no, and you quit your job. You don't want to work for the company. Even if you're making copies, you don't know what you're copying. Could be, evil blueprints. Then you got to organize it for people? No. Let them have chaos. And that's what you do when you come across a paperclip.